Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? Or maybe I should put on headphones.
I can hear you fine. It's perfect on this end.
Okay, perfect. How
Oh my
are
God, I
you?
love your setup. It's so chill and peaceful.
Yeah, usually when I do Instagram, well, this is only my third Instagram live. Usually this is like the most presentable area in
It's
this time,
amazing.
especially
I
when we're
love
talking
it.
about relaxation and sleep, right? I think.
Yeah, of course. All right, so thank you guys for joining us. While people are joining, maybe I'll just give some context on what Hugger Group is and what we're trying to do with these IG live sessions. So Hugger Group, our goal is to make healthcare, mental health care accessible and affordable to everyone. So we let people deal with their mental health issues through our support groups and also guided self-help exercises. And with these live sessions that we're doing with you and other people around this month, we're trying to just open up the dialogue around mental health. We think there's still a lot more to be said. And so we invited the lovely Viv to join us and talk about sleep and mindfulness today, which I think is going to be great. And we're going to start by some stretching exercises and then we'll jump right in and get to know Viv and all about what she does and who she is, right?
Hi everyone. Awesome. My friends are joining. That's awesome. Hi guys. Thank you for the introduction. So yeah, I mean it's an honor to be here and to be part of something that is so needed because now I think more than ever we need mental health awareness and support and going to see a therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist can be very, very expensive, especially in Hong Kong, and a lot of insurance actually doesn't cover it. So,
Wow.
yeah, people here don't have a lot of financial means to really see a therapist if they need it.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So the Hugga Group app is a very good platform to bring people together and kind of match people up and support that in a different way that's more accessible. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much for joining us.
yeah. So before we get into a stretch, I'm Viv. I'm a corporate wellness coach and a certified yoga instructor. And we will start with a little short stretch before we start chatting. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you can always do a stretch. So just find a comfortable seat. You don't need a mat. I'm actually sitting on a little chair that's in front of the bed, but now I'm sitting on the bed, so I'm a little higher. But just
Okay.
find a nice, comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged. You can sit with your legs down on the floor and just start to roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And while you're doing this, start to breathe. Actually, 90% of us don't really know how to breathe. And the breath usually kind of stops in our chest. So just let the breath send down all the way to the belly. Good. One more round here. And exhale, release. And you're going to drop the shoulders, relax them. You're going to take your right ear towards the right shoulder. Okay. And you're going to really relax these shoulders and just let this head drop on the right side. And if it's the morning for you guys, your fascia gets really tight overnight because we lose about 1 liter of water in our sleep. So just be very gentle if it is morning and you've just woken up. So take a deep inhale. Exhale, slowly roll your chin down towards your chest. And you're going to kind of linger here, maybe feel a spot that feels good for you. Maybe stretching some tension away on your right side of your shoulder or maybe your left side. And breathe into it. And slowly bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. So we're doing the other side. And just notice how this side might feel different for us because a lot of us are right arm dominant. And a lot of times this side gets really tight. So you're just making sure that your shoulders are relaxed and you're breathing.
It's definitely much tighter on this side, for sure.
Yeah. because we have habits and sometimes we just don't notice that we're really tight on one side. So let's try to even it out. You can linger a little bit longer if this is your tighter side. Maybe take 2 more breaths. And exhale slowly. You're going to release back to center. So take your arms wide, like wings, spread them out wide. Drop those shoulders away from the ears. Let's take that right elbow under the left. Okay, so and if I can do this wearing a dress shirt, you can do it. So palms together, or if this is uncomfortable, palms can be on your shoulders. Same benefit either way. As you inhale, lift the elbows up. Maybe do a little back bend. And on the exhale, let's round the spine, drawing the elbows towards the belly button, chin towards your chest. This is called eagle arms. And try to get your palms away from your face. You're really trying to protract the shoulders. Spread the shoulder blades apart. Drop the head. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale fully. And on the inhale, slowly rise back up. Keep the arms as they are. Maybe lift the elbows a little bit higher. Come into a little back bend here for 3, 2, and 1. Release. And we'll do the other side. So spread the arms wide like wings. Take a deep inhale. Exhale your left elbow under the right. So palms together or on your shoulders. Same benefit either way. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rounding the spine, drawing the elbows towards the belly button. Really find a nice curve in the back and try to get your shoulder blades to spread apart. 1 more inhale. Exhale, fully release. And then come all the way back up. Take a deep inhale, do a little back bend. 1 more deep inhale, palms away from your face. And exhale, release. All right, so now interlace the fingers, but do it the weird way. So non-dominant thumb on top. It'll feel awkward, but we got to switch up our habits sometimes. So push your palms forward towards me, towards us, and then bring your arms up. So what I'd like you to do is peel the palms so the palms face up towards the sky. And you're going to lengthen your arms. If your arms are bent, that's fine. You're going to straighten them any amount, maybe just a little bit, right? Do whatever you can today. And maybe you want to look up towards the sky, stretching your side body. 1 more inhale. Exhale, release. And now we're going to do a lateral stretch. So start with your right hand. Right hand walks out and then reach your left arm up and over. Yeah. So I'm off screen right now, but you're basically stretching out your left side body and imagine the left side ribs like gills of a fish. So you're breathing into the left intercostal muscles. Stretching your left side waist. Take 1 more inhale. Let's spread those collarbones wide. Exhale back to center and do the opposite side. So your left fingertips over to the left, maybe reaching towards the floor, maybe reaching across the bed, and you're reaching your right arm up and over. And try to shine your heart forward and up. The reason is because you want your collarbones to smile open because they're attached to your lungs. So you really want to maximize the breath even when you're doing these lateral stretches. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, coming back to center, and we'll end with a little twist. So both arms up on the inhale. Every time you're inhaling, you're lengthening. So deep breath in. As you exhale, twist over to your right knee. All right, so you're facing your right knee. Your left hand goes on top of that knee, and your right hand goes behind you like a little kickstand. Or you can even have those fingertips wrap all the way around to your right hip crease if that feels better for you. Wherever you are, take a deep inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. 1 more deep inhale. Try to grow a little bit taller with the spine. Exhale, twist. Good. Coming back to center. And last side. So deep inhale. Feel like you're going a little taller. Use the breath to help you here. And exhale, spin over to your left knee. Plant your right hand down on the knee, and your left hand comes behind you like a kickstand. You can be on your fingertips if you need to, or take your fingertips all the way around your right hip crease. Deep inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist over to the left. One more time. Deep inhale, feel like there's a string pulling from the crown of your head. Exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, back to center, and then you can shake it all out. Do whatever you need to, and then we're done.
Wow, this feels so nice, actually. I really needed this.
Sweating a little bit.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Viv, well, let's get into it. So I wanted you to tell us a little bit about what you do. So go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a corporate wellness coach, and what I focus on is helping employees of companies to focus on their sleep, stress, mindfulness, and mental well-being. And by focusing on those 4 areas, I'm basically helping them get to their fullest potential. So in terms of performance, in terms of productivity, but most importantly, how they feel mentally and physically. So I decided to do this because I used to be in a corporate environment, and I realized I was burning out a little bit. And so now I've basically jumped on the other side to help people prevent themselves from burning out.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about that feeling of burning out? What were the symptoms that you were feeling? Just for people who maybe haven't experienced it yet, or maybe have and they don't know what they were feeling. What were the symptoms?
Yeah, so it could be different for everyone, but for me, it was very clear. I mean, now that I look back at it, but at the time, I was getting sick, as in coughing a lot. Chronic coughing, feeling like I always had something in my throat, and I would take a lot of medication prescribed by different doctors that didn't help, and even antibiotics didn't help. I wasn't able to sleep well, so either I couldn't fall asleep or it would be very light sleep.
Yeah.
And then because I wasn't sleeping well, I kept getting sick, and then I couldn't get better because I was sleeping well, and there was just this vicious cycle happening. I wasn't really feeling that I was burning out because I felt like it would never happen to me. And I was really stressed out at work, but I thought that, well, stress happens all the time anyways. And if anyone has been to Hong Kong or worked here, you know that this is a very fast-paced city. And it's not just Hong Kong, but so many places around the world. And if you don't keep going, you are going to fall back, and you don't want to fall back. So I was pretty much in denial about this burnout at that time. So I felt all those symptoms and just never got better, couldn't sleep. I also wasn't gaining weight. So I was eating, but I was becoming very skinny because I don't think I was absorbing whatever I was eating.
Yeah,
so,
because
I was exercising. Yeah, even though I was exercising, I was eating, and I was just not gaining weight. So those were the symptoms for me personally.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to some of those, and I do understand the feeling of, I mean, you want to keep up and you see everyone around you maybe acting like everything is fine, and you think, oh my, if they're handling it so well, who am I to say that this is too much for me? So you just keep going, keep like chasing it.
Exactly. Who am I to say that I'm burning out, I can't handle this, when my boss and my boss's boss and my boss's boss's boss is working so many more hours than me on conference calls. I didn't want to admit that I couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yeah, but there's different things and different triggers. So yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. And I think we're all different, so you should never compare yourself. But so we're talking about sleep and mindfulness, and you raised this topic about how you weren't sleeping very well, and that can definitely be a trigger for burnout. So what is good sleep?
Yeah. So good sleep Well, I want to focus on sleep as a topic because without sleeping well, nothing else in your day, in your life will go well. Like I can almost
Yeah.
guarantee that.
Yeah.
And good sleep is when you get the quality of sleep, so going through your sleep cycles, and also the quantity of sleep. So going through the amount of sleep cycles, usually about 5 sleep cycles a night, and each sleep cycle lasts for about 90 minutes to probably 120
Okay.
minutes. So you really want to get the restorative deep sleep that we need for cognitive function, to restore our muscles, to restore our memory, to build testosterone. So we need testosterone, which is usually produced near the later stages of our sleep, near the end of the night, because we want to be alert, we want to be motivated, and we need testosterone for that. We also, it's not just for libido, but if you're working out, you want to build lean muscles, you want to lose fat, and you want to be in a good mood, you need your proper testosterone and hormones that are developed near the end of your sleep cycle. So that's why it's not just about, oh, I get a deep sleep in 4 or 5 hours and I'm good. It's not about that. You actually need the quantity as well, which is minimum 7.5 to 9 hours
Okay.
usually. Yeah.
7.5. That's like, yeah,
Minimum. And I say
I
seven and a half.
know.
7.5 because our sleep cycles on average are about 90 minutes. So if you set your alarm after 8 hours of sleep, you're actually waking up in the middle of your sleep cycle. So when you wake up, sometimes you feel like, wait, I got 8 hours of sleep. Why is it when I wake up, I feel so groggy and I feel tired? It's because you're in the middle of your deep sleep. So that's why I say minimum 7.5, because you're waking up at the end of your sleep cycle where you're going through back to that light sleep stage and you're about to begin another cycle, but you're just waking up in a nice
Yeah.
light. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Super interesting. And it's good to know, like, we should do a minimum 7.5 hours, like,
Yeah.
should not compromise that. So how
No.
do you help your clients? Yeah. So how do you help your clients like obtain better sleep patterns, if I can call them that?
Yeah. So I first have to educate them. So just like what we did, right? Educate them on, well, why do you need the 7.5 hours of sleep? And why is it 7.5 hours? And really educating them on what happens when you don't get enough sleep and how 6 hours of sleep is not enough. And a lot of people think that 6 hours of sleep is enough, but actually you need a
Yeah.
very rare genetic mutation, um, which only a very small percentage of people have, and it's smaller than the probability of you getting struck by lightning. So, so it's a genetic mutation, and those people can thrive off of 6 hours of sleep. And you think you're one of those people, I think you should definitely go get checked, like get your genetics checked and see if you have that gene mutation, because congratulations, you should definitely get a lottery ticket because that is so rare. So I educate them on these things, right? Because people believe that you can survive off less than 7 hours or less than 6 hours, but you can't. And then what happens is you start deteriorating in terms of cognitive function, like you lose your memory, you get really moody, you start gaining weight, you grab the high sugar, high calorie foods. So
Yeah.
that's what I do first is I educate them, and then I give them tips on what they need to do to have proper sleep hygiene, and also what they do throughout the day, like caffeine, sunlight, exercise, etc. So much more.
Okay, so caffeine would be good for good sleep, is what you're saying?
Caffeine is okay if so people who really, really like caffeine, right? What I tell them is caffeine stays in your system for 12 hours or more, actually. So after 8 hours, there's 50% of caffeine that's still left in your system. So if you have
Wow.
your cup of coffee at 12 p.m., right, lunchtime, you have a little coffee. By 8 p.m., you still have 50% of the caffeine left. So if you're going to bed at 10 or 11, you still have a good amount of caffeine in your system. So I tell my clients that if they want to drink coffee, drink it early in the morning, like at 9 or 10. But don't do a 3
Okay.
p.m. noon. And decaf actually has about 20% of caffeine of a normal cup of coffee. So decaf doesn't mean no caffeine. There's still a very
Yeah,
small percentage of caffeine in decaf.
I
Yeah.
thought that. I thought the decaf was kind of a myth because it really still pumps you up a bit. Like,
Yeah, it pumps you up a bit. And don't think it's just coffee. It's dark chocolate. It's your matcha latte, green tea, nicotine. Nicotine has caffeine. Energy drinks, right? So there's so much that has caffeine that we don't really realize, but those are also stimulants as well.
wow, I feel like we could be talking like for hours and hours about sleep hygiene.
No, that's
Honestly, I'm like learning so much in just these like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
yeah.
Ah, okay. And one thing I wanted to ask as well, yeah, we have to say hello to the people joining. Thank you so much, Viv. It's so interesting. Please stick around.
Yeah.
So you were saying before, this is a question that I've always had. Your sleep cycles can be either 90, well, from 90 minutes to 120 minutes, as you said.
Mm-hmm. Like
So
if you
how do,
120, yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay. But does that mean like I could have always sleep cycles of like 120 minutes?
So the sleep cycle, so we have 4 stages of sleep cycle. Well, technically 5, okay? So it goes from stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then REM sleep, which is our rapid eye movement. That's when you start dreaming.
Yeah.
So that cycle is on average 90 minutes. So you go from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, then back to 2, and then you go all the way to the end REM. So it's like a
Oh,
cycle throughout your night, your evening. So it kind of
oh,
goes
okay.
yeah. So
Okay,
that's
okay, okay.
the sleep cycle. You eventually, when you start to end your sleep cycle, you'll start to feel like, oh, I'm getting my light sleep. And then you'll start to wake up at certain points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think that's another myth that some people have like longer sleep cycles and some people have smaller ones.
No,
Is
it's
this true?
average. Like it's around max 120. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, okay. And should you go over like 9 hours if you're really tired? Is that something you should do, or is that also harmful?
So there is something as sleeping too much, but it's more about consistency. So if you are super, super tired and you're sleeping for 10, 12 hours, that's fine once in a while. But if you consistently sleep for 10, 11 hours every night, that's also not good. So too little and too much sleep is not good. So you want to have that
Okay.
consistent 8.5 to 9 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to start practicing that. Okay, and one thing I also wanted to talk about with this current crisis on various levels that we're living right now, I, for one, feel that my sleep has been so changed by what we're going through. Just because, I mean, just for the fact that before I go to sleep, I go on Instagram and other like social media platforms, and I see all these news coming from around the world about the political crisis that we're going through, and also about the pandemic, which in a way has taken kind of like a backseat in light of what is happening politically. And how do you think or feel that this current situation has changed the way we sleep now, because we're being bombarded by all this kind of scary information all the time, right?
Yeah, I think that we are very glued to our devices and the media more and more. Like in Hong Kong, for example, we've had protests and riots here since last year, almost exactly one
Yeah,
year ago. So
yeah.
I completely understand how the rest of the world now is more affected and glued to their devices. And I think that because you want to check up on your friends and family all over the world. I have family and friends in North America. and also in the UK, right? And also with the COVID and now with a lot of protests happening everywhere in the world, I think that it's good that we're checking up on people, but we don't know how to stop. We don't know how to log off. And especially because our devices have blue light. So blue light, and I mentioned in my post, you should put, if it's evening for you, set night shift mode, so amber light or blue light blocking glasses if you're looking at this, because blue light has the same effect as caffeine on your brain. So it blocks it blocks melatonin production, which is a hormone that tells you that it's dark. You need to sleep. It's dark, it's dark, it's dark. And if you're looking at blue light, it's mimicking sunlight. So it's tricking your brain that it's daytime. So your brain doesn't want to go to sleep. The more you look at the news and the more you look at the phone right before bed, the worse you're going to sleep. And there's even a study in this book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. It's my absolute favorite book. And
I've heard about that book, I think.
It's so good. So there's a study mentioned there where they had two groups of people. One group read a physical book before bed, and one group read an iPad before bed. And the one who read the iPad had delayed melatonin production for 3 hours, even just reading on the iPad for 1 hour. And it wasn't only that night. It wasn't only that night, but that issue prolonged a few hours after, few days after that study was conducted as well. Yeah, so think about if you drink a cup of, I mean, some people can drink coffee and go to bed, because I get that comment all the time. And yes, sometimes when you drink coffee, depending on the person, it reacts differently for everyone. You can fall asleep just like that. Sure. However, you go through these micro wake-ups throughout the night, and also it reduces your REM sleep, which is your restorative, mentally restorative sleep. And these micro wake-ups are happening so often in the night that you don't remember. You actually don't remember. So
yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, so that's the issue with right now what's going on and looking at the device, and that's hindering our sleep.
Wow. Okay. So what are some of the things that we can do to disconnect and just sleep better through this situation, obviously, but just in general? What can we do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in my sleep workshops, I talk about something called the power down hour. And I got this idea from a sleep doctor, actually. His name is Dr. Michael Bruce, and he calls this power down hour this 1 hour where you're going to do something, anything that doesn't require you looking at a device. Right. So for me, I listen to podcasts or audiobooks while I stretch and while I foam roll. Or you can read a book, but a physical book. So don't read it on an iPad or a Kindle. Some people like to meditate before bed. Some people like to take a really hot bubble bath or really hot shower. And what I do is I play some music and I light some candles as well if I'm not listening to an audiobook or an iPad or podcast. And it's a routine. It's so many eyes. So it's a routine for you to train yourself to not need a device, to help yourself soothe into a more relaxed state, right? And whatever it is for you that is not looking at a screen. And not
something for an hour before sleep.
At least. And dimming the light. So this is another one, is dimming the light. So yes, the blue light is bad, but even large overhead lights. So if I'm going to bed, right, I turn all the lights off here and I only have these two amber lights. And why do we like amber lights, or amber light is okay, is because back in the day, we only had fire as a source of light, except for the moon. So when we looked at fire, it was soothing, it was comfortable, and we were able to just fall asleep by the fire. And that's why the color of these light bulbs, the amber light, is something that it's fine. It's okay to have these types of lights. but anything really
Okay.
bright or LED lights, turn them off.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good. I've never thought about foam rolling or stretching before bed, but that sounds like such a good idea. Because I'm not
Yeah.
great with meditation, but maybe stretching would be such a good thing.
Even just a little one, just like what we did. There's a lot of tension sometimes when we go to bed. We tighten up certain muscles, and we're actually sometimes you realize that you're actually not fully relaxed when you get to bed. Sometimes you have like one shoulder up, or like you're like crunching your
Yeah.
hip. So it's just more of your body awareness, training yourself to relax.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I have so many things I'm going to implement from now on. My life's going to turn
Yeah.
so great.
Start tonight.
Okay, so yeah, tonight for sure. So talking about mindfulness, what is mindfulness for you? Tell me about it.
Yeah. So mindfulness is really what brought me to do what I do about sleep and stress and all that. So mindfulness is an awareness of one's thoughts, your emotions, sensations that are happening to you at the moment without any judgment. So you can practice mindfulness anywhere, anytime with anyone. It's not meditation. Meditation is a formal practice. Mindfulness you can do by mindful eating. You can do mindful walking, mindful movement, mindful stretching, which is pretty much what we just did. That's why yoga is mindfulness. Mindful listening, right? When someone is talking to you, are you actually being present and listening to that person? Or is your
Yeah,
mind going somewhere else and thinking about
yeah,
that email that you have to send later? Or that conference call that you need to be on later, right? So that is mindfulness. It's being aware of this present moment of everything that's happening to you, in you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, for example, the mindful hearing, that used to be something that I was so good at. I usually like used to take pride in the fact that I would actually listen to people when they were talking. And now lately, with all these news that are things that are going around in the world, I notice myself listening to very interesting conversations, but I'm thinking about the news report that I read earlier, or the video that I saw of protests somewhere, or the new recent study done on COVID. And it just makes me like not be fully attentive, which is something I really don't like doing when someone's talking, especially. So, what can we all do to be more mindful? Like, how can we improve that?
It is a practice. So, with mindfulness, think of it like brushing your teeth. Okay, so we brush our teeth twice a day, every day. But what happens when we brush our teeth once a month? It's not going to do anything,
Yeah,
right? We're probably going to get a bunch of cavities. Hi.
yeah,
We're going to have a bunch of cavities, right? And so
yeah.
that's the thing with mindfulness. It is a practice. You have to practice to be more aware. And if you are actually doing it in a formal way, like a quote unquote meditation, which you don't even have to call it a meditation. You can call it a breathing exercise or focus exercise. You can sit down for a few minutes a day and just focus on the breath. That's it. You can
Okay,
focus on the breath, or you can focus on sound, right? So if I'm closing my eyes, maybe I'm focusing on some music, or because I'm in Hong Kong, there's construction happening everywhere all the time, all the time.
wow.
So, and that's the thing, you'll get distractions all the time, right? In terms of your daily life. So, how do you train your brain, your mind to focus on something? So, you can choose your breath, you can choose a sound, you can choose certain music, you can choose even a particular thought that might be soothing to focus. So it's really about practicing. And the point is, as soon as you find that your mind has gone away, all you have to do once you're aware is, oh, right, okay, let's bring it back. Let's bring the attention back to the breath, or back to the sound, back to whatever the focus is. Yeah.
Okay. And how long should we do that?
Technically, I would say that you should do it at least half an hour. But For
Oh, wow.
people who've never meditated before, never practiced
Yeah.
mindfulness before, do it for 2 minutes to start, just breathing. Just breathing. Okay. Like I said in the beginning, 90% of us don't know how to breathe properly. And that has brought up a lot of hypertension, stress, anxiety everywhere. So even just 2 minutes a day to start, and then try to lengthen it for 5 minutes. But the point is consistency, just like brushing your teeth or working out. You can't work out once a month and expect results. Or you can't eat healthy once a month and expect to look great and feel great, right? It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing with mindfulness. It's like,
Yeah.
I get it all the time. I can't meditate or I can't focus on breathing because I can't be mindful because I think too much. But that is the exact reason why we have to practice. And then make it a habit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will start with like 5 minutes because I'm just so bad at it, but I will start. Okay.
Yeah. If
I'm going to start tonight.
if Oprah has time to do it, if Oprah and Bill Gates and Jennifer Lopez has time to do it, you, us, everyone has time to do it.
Okay. I will like direct message you on my results. Like, I'm doing it tonight and it's going so well.
Yes.
And you can
Yes.
coach me on it.
Yes.
So what things have you done throughout this time that have helped you keep your balance? Well, living in Hong Kong, especially during the quarantine, like how have you kept your mental health balance, mindfulness?
Mm-hmm. So we're lucky here. We were never on lockdown. We're never on
Oh,
quarantine.
you were never?
Never.
Sorry.
Really lucky. Really lucky.
Yeah.
But having said that, though, some things were closed, right? But it was pretty much business as usual. However, I think being part of a community and staying connected is very important. So I actually really like to, when my friends in Toronto and in New York were under lockdown, we were on Zoom calls and video calls every week. And that connection, being part of, a community with my friends, that was really nice. So, and it's the same thing with Hug a Group. You guys have online community that can bring people together, because then that you're not alone. That other people are going through the same thing. Like, everyone has that commonality and everyone can share. And it's just a brief, it doesn't take much effort, and it's just to catch up.
Yeah. I mean, it's very good. We also feel that it's very important to stay connected, as you said. And so just to take on that, I will mention that we have some online support groups that happen every week, and you can check them out on our website. And they have them for free every week, once in Portuguese because we're from Portugal, and once in English. So I recommend everyone to go and check them out, and also check out Viv's amazing website and all the solutions that she has on there. And I mean, just checking you out on your Instagram has so many important information that you put there.
Yeah, and actually during this period, it was a bit quiet, right? When there were a few things shut down, and it really got myself to reflect and be more mindful. And then really made time for me to think about what I really want to focus on. So yeah, check out things on my website. There's a sleep recording on there if you need. And also I have information on a mentorship program that I just launched, a yoga mentorship program, which was devised during this whole pandemic because I had so much time to think and to reflect and to plan. So there's a good thing that happened from the COVID.
Yeah, for sure. You really used it for good. And you guys should check out the sleep podcast that Viv just mentioned. It's so good. Honestly, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask you one last question, which is about what made you create Can Elevate and just like decide to launch yourself in that direction completely. And then we can go to our breathing exercises.
Yeah. So Can Elevate, I mentioned I had that burnout experience, and then I went to Bali, and then I went to a silent retreat, which was a 10-day silent meditation called Vipassana, which I did it in Hong Kong, but you can do it anywhere in the world that has a Vipassana center. So it's 10 days of silence, and that was really, really challenging and very painful, like physically painful, because you're sitting for 10 hours a day, 10 days in a row, and you're meditating. So within the 10 days, I came up with my business idea, basically. I was supposed to be focusing on a body scan, but I wasn't the best meditator. So I ended up just devising my whole business plan throughout the 10 days and just really focused on how do I want people to feel? What do I want people to do? How do I want to leave a legacy? And how do I want to change people's lives, or what is my purpose? So all these kind of things started rising up during that, and then Can Elevate happened.
Wow, amazing. I mean, that must be so hard to just sit for 10 hours, just sit for 10 hours a day for 10 days. I mean,
Mhm.
you must have so many like bruises and stuff at the end.
Oh yeah, my knees and my hips were so sore. But hey, meditation, business plan. So I mean,
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah, worth it. I also wanted to tell everyone if you want to post some questions for Viv, we will respond to them. Yeah, and how long ago did you do this uh, s- meditation and then launched Can Elevate?
So this was February of last year. So
Oh,
it's only
okay.
a little bit, yeah, a little bit more than a year. And it's been such a wild, wild journey, especially with everything that has happened this year. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful, and I'm very lucky that I still have clients and gyms and studios are opened here. I know in many parts of the world they're still closed,
Yeah.
and corporate
Yeah.
clients are all pretty much back in the office. So yeah, it's really, really a blessing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like it's a good place to have your business right now. So cool.
Mhm.
Okay. If no one has any questions, we'll just go to our breathing exercises that Viv is going to guide us through. But you guys can still post questions, and if we can, we'll answer them after the exercises.
Yes. Just do a quick few minutes, okay? You don't have to close your eyes for this one. You can keep them maybe soft gaze, maybe you can look down. But basically, you just need to train yourself to breathe in and out through the nose, not through the mouth, because breathing through the nose actually stimulates a lot of things in your prefrontal cortex, and also helps stimulate hormones that helps regulate your blood pressure, helps with digestion, and so many other things that is too scientific to talk about right now. So let's try to breathe, okay? So you can close your eyes if you want to, just for a few minutes. And start to breathe in and out through the nose. And really think about having a long spine. So, even using the breath to elongate the spine, since we want to maximize the breath. And as you're breathing in through the nose, try to expand your collarbones, your chest, your ribs, all the way down to the belly. And as you exhale, empty out from the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Deep inhalation in through the nose. Expand the collarbones, the chest, the ribs, all the way down to the belly. And as you exhale, empty out from the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Deep inhales in, and soft and long exhales out. And notice how the breath might be smooth or jagged. Try to smooth out the breath. And try to make your exhales just as long as your inhales. The hard part about breathing is not the inhales. It's actually the exhales, so getting all the stale air out. And you're training your diaphragm to work to its advantage. Pressing down through your diaphragm as your lungs expand. And as you release, letting the diaphragm rise. If your mind has wandered away, all you have to do is bring it back to this very moment. And we'll breathe 3 deep inhalations. Soft exhalations. 2 more times just like that. Breathing deeply. Inhale. And long exhale. Last one, breathing in through the nose. Expand the chest, the ribs, and the belly. And exhale. Let it all go. Start to invite some movement back to your body. You can wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. You can even rotate your head from side to side, just like the beginning of this session, releasing any tension you have in the neck and shoulders. A lot of times we store a lot of stress here, so let it go. Gently come back to center and slowly open your eyes. And welcome back.
Feel so relaxed right now.
And that was just, I think that was like 4 minutes or maybe like 5.
Yeah,
That was it.
it's so effective.
Yeah, I'm reading a book called Breath, Science of a Lost Art. It's by James Nestor. So there's a lot of science about using the breath and scientifically why breathing through the nose is so much better. And yeah, check it out. It's amazing.
I will. Okay. This is so great, Viv. Thank you so much for taking the time. Honestly, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for everyone who joined. And I see my friends there.
Yeah.
Crystal. Hello. Hello. Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
It was great, Viv. Thank you so much. Everyone go check out her page. It's amazing. Seriously. If you like this breathing exercise, you'll love the sleep podcast she has.
Thank you so much. And check out the Hug a Group app. Download it. Go to their community resources because we all need a community right now.
Thank you. Okay. Bye, Viv. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon and good night to everyone else and good morning to everyone on the East Coast and West Coast. Bye.
Bye.